You know what, Malcolm? I feel like once you know someone is there for you and once you know they love you, you never actually think of them again.
That's not true.
It's until you're about to lose someone that you finally pay attention.
Is that what this is?
What?
Is what you're threatening. If I don't apologize, I'm going to lose you?
I'm not looking for an apology, Malcolm.
Well, what do you want, a screenplay credit?
To speak a little bit if she has any more to share. She's a therapist, and then after that we can like have full interaction with the audience if y'all had anything else y'all wanted to share or ask the panelists or Miss Bird. Okay. Well, I guess peace and love, everyone. My name is Cheneze. Very happy to be here. Thank you for our lovely guests who invited me. And I want to say it was an interesting film, to say the least. And to be honest with you, more people go through that than not, and think it's normal for that behavior. It was a lot going on in there, but what really stood out to me is, you know, the constant attacking that they did on each other, and then going back to I love you so much, and then attacking again, and you know what, this was so good, but I just thought about what just happened, and now I'm back to hating you, but I really love you, but I hate you. And it was enough to drive anybody crazy. One thing that I took from it is, even though there was no physical abuse happening, there was a lot of mental abuse, a mental tear down that was happening on both sides. And I just felt that if they didn't feel so attached to each other and feel like this love was keeping them together, they would see what was really going on, which was, this is a very unhealthy relationship for both people.
I like the movie a lot because to me I saw like the larger things in play. When I look at like men like Malcolm, sometimes I imagine a man that like doesn't do much emotional development unless he's around a woman or being affirmed by them. Other than that, and like he feels like he's already made it to his peak, so he doesn't feel the need to improve unless he's made aware of it. And that's like, okay, so that's what you choose to pay attention to. So anything that doesn't affirm what he believes about himself, he avoids. And it's like, you know, I was just talking to the sisters earlier, it's just like, you know, as men, we can't use women as bridges for our emotional development. That's not fair, because she has to deal with her own emotions. And then, like, you know, I actually took score and had notes on the movie. Just I saw like a larger problem was that like sometimes black men, we appreciate black women's story, but not them. Where it's kind of like, oh, my mama went through this, our mama went through this, and my grandmother was so strong, but then you subject another sister to that. So how dedicated are you to the absence of suffering in black women's lives? If you go, well, my mama, okay, well, as long as she's straight, but every other woman after me is going to catch all of my inconsistency, that doesn't sound right. Because it's like, you know, no matter who you with, whatever, your dedication to the divine feminine can't be stringent on what she is giving you. She already gave you life, so, you know, that's why I was looking at Malcolm like, bro, what are you doing? And it was something that really, like, because I don't want to take up too much time.
You got 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. I was like, okay, but then I thought we was going over synopsis and then we going over. Okay, well, I'm just saying it's like when I look at it like and I look at Marie's side as well. It's kind of like you feel like you owe this brother because he did help you through the struggle, but you grew. You grew up and found out like, wait a minute, all right, you was only with me for my story, not for me. On a larger scale, like your partner who's been going through historic trauma with you, and understanding that historic trauma and seeing it in context when you all are dealing with each other. You know, I don't know if my time.
That was good. That was good. All right. You'd like to pick up from there?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go broad and then kind of like work to bring it in, right? So let's talk about like masculine and feminine energy, right? So I believe that Malcolm and Marie are representations of an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine, right? If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let's take a look at the sun and the moon. So the sun is masculine, the moon is feminine. The sun illuminates the moon just by being. So if men allow themselves to be in balance, then they're going to automatically illuminate the feminine energies around them, right? So what we have to understand is that feminine energy is dark energy. It's dark, powerful energy. That what helps to keep us light is the balance with the masculine. So first, I'm thinking about that, right? That's just an ideal that I'll throw out, and we can have conversation about it, right? And then we get into the ancestral piece, right? That my brother here spoke to. The ancestral piece of this is that African American men and African American women have been suppressed since we got here, right? And so we have to also see how that suppression plays internally within our culture, right? So oftentimes we talk about from black to white, from white to black, or whatever the case may be, but there's this internalized fight between masculine and feminine within our culture, and that was created by white supremacy, right? So we fight one another, and our fights are rooted in historical contexts that many of us don't have any knowledge about. And so we end up continuing to create arguments on the surface when really it's some deeper implications here, right? So that's another topic I'm gonna throw out there, right? And then some notes that I was making while watching and while hearing my brother speak. Malcolm goes through a rampage to argue points that he proved true in the scene before, when he recounts the characterization of Imani as his past lover. So he goes through to talk about Imani. He talks about Imani, and he talks about all of these different women and their traumas that make up the character Imani. So then when he goes to read the article from the LA Times, it's like, she only said what you actually did. You sat here and explained how you used the nuances of the traumas of every woman you've ever been with to create this one character. And then you're spazzing that the editorialist or whatever was able to glean that, was able to pull that out. That's crazy to me. Like, it's your truth, and now it's being reflected back to you, and you can't take it. Ooh. That is not fair. That's not fair. And women often have to deal with that with men, right? I'm reflecting your truth back at you. You have proven this. You have said it with your words. And just because you didn't say it in this context doesn't mean that in another context it doesn't reign true, right? So that's a piece of it. Malcolm is incredibly intelligent, but the way he is seen by the world must be seen directly through his lens or his trash. So to your point, right, he doesn't engage with anything that doesn't validate this sun shining, but your shining is imbalanced because you can't even illuminate the moon, and that's what you was made to do. What is this? So then the next piece is Malcolm makes valid points. if you are not needed, do you feel a necessity to be in a relationship? So then we have to go and think about, right, we can bash Malcolm for being this narcissist and this misogynistic, whatever the case may be, but he's a man, he's a human with feelings and with experiences. So we first have to honor, like, yeah, he's hitting below the belt, sis. Like, you need to get your feet work in order because this man know how to fight, right? But we also have to understand the humanity of him and the fact that he does throw out some points. And I think that what happens in society is that because a lot men get a bad name, women get a bad name, right? And we just are in this constant battle of who's the worst victim or who's the better victim or whatever the case may be, when we both need to be balanced in the work.
Now we can,
You want me to share?
yes.
But narcissism, Malcolm fits all of this. An exaggerated sense of self-importance, right? Has a sense of entitlement, require constant excessive admiration. And, you know, he needed her to validate him continuously. Exaggerated achievements. Well, you good, bro, but you lacking in some areas. He don't want to hear that. Preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. So in his case, this film, believe they are superior and can only associate with equally special people. Monopolize conversations and belittle or look down on people they perceive as inferior. They need people that they feel are inferior, and they don't go and look for anybody else because it won't serve them. Expect special favors and unquestioning compliance. Like he wouldn't have got no mac and cheese. Period. We gonna both be hungry tonight. Right. Take advantage of others to get what they want. Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. I'm gonna come from a little bit of therapeutic standpoint. When I heard about the movie before I actually saw it, and what I heard about it is why is he doing this to her? Why is he pouring this negativity into her? Why is he so narcissistic? The question is, what is the pain and the hurt that she has gone through that would allow her to allow him to be that negative? So what is it in her, what happened in her life, in her experience, that caused the substance abuse in the first place? Because whatever that is what drew him into her space in the first place. So, you know, she wasn't whole to begin with, right? So she drew that into her space. He drew that into his space. But all of it is a manifestation of in childhood being either abused, taken advantage of, or whatever the case may be. And that's all I saw, just kept screaming. And it was like, yes, he has narcissistic tendencies. He's a narcissist, right? He's fighting, he's hitting below the belt. And then she go and think about it, and then she coming back. So nobody is making the situation better. Yes.
I'm listening, which is because I went to school to be a therapist as well, so just hearing it from you is just like this is great. Do you feel like within a partnership, like there's like rules to engagement when it comes to arguing? Because like I saw it as the difference between boxing and brawling. How like boxing has rules, like you gotta be in a position, you gotta have gloves on, and brawling is like just all out violence. Because
Fighting, there's a win and a lose. And in a
Right.
relationship, there is no win
There
and
ain't
lose.
no win or no
It's a
lose.
win-win or a lose-lose. So what do you want? You want to be right, win, or you want this relationship to work where everybody wins?
Come on now.
When you come to me and your whole thing is that you want to be right, then that means you want him to be wrong or you want her to be wrong. Then that's not a win-win in the
You don't want
relationship.
harmony.
Right. Right. That does not cause harmony at all. So you want to win, both of you. Somebody can win, somebody can lose, or both of you can lose, or both of you can win. Which one do you want? You want to be right, or you want you guys to win in the relationship? And if you want someone else to lose, then walk away.
Right.
Why do you want to be in a relationship where somebody has to lose?
Exactly.
Why do you need to do that? And if you do need to do that, get some therapy.
I say.
Because it's not okay that somebody needs to lose in your relationship.
yeah,
that means you need some assistance.
I have to agree with you. At the beginning, I noticed the young lady's Marie. I noticed her toxic abilities first.
Yeah.
Because he was asking her, "What's wrong with you?" And her first thing was like, "I'm just hungry. I haven't eaten all day."
But she
And then she made mac and cheese for him.
And didn't eat.
Like she and still didn't eat all night. Argued and like got this muster of fuel and energy, and she hadn't eaten all day.
Right.
Like even if she was highly pissed and very upset with him, she still should have taken care of herself first.
Come on.
Right.
And maybe she would have had a better thought of things, been able to talk in a in a manner where it wouldn't have escalated, because she would have taken care of herself first. She would have ate that mac and cheese. She would have taken that bath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I light you a few candles.
Come on,
You listen to him. I'm gonna leave his ass while you in that bath. Not outside, sitting next to his ass. You listen to it while you in the bath after you just ate. And then you have that conversation because you have taken care of yourself. Your needs are taken care of, so you're not coming from a bitter place because I'm not taking care of me.
Right.
So yeah, I totally saw that first. Like, how do you have energy to fight all night and you haven't eaten, boo?
Because, see, this is the thing. Because he understood the trauma of women so well, he understood that she was taking all of his shit and still staying.
Oh, yeah.
He understood, you know what I'm saying? So her playing the music was more so for her, like, I still accept all of this from you. You still did not thank me. I still cook for you. I'm still here through and through for you. And you still won't even give me a thank you. And you will kill my hopes and my dreams. She wanted to be an actress. She wanted to be seen in the limelights through a film that her man had created. You know what I'm saying? And he knew that, and he didn't give her that to spite her. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying here is like, he is an intelligent being.
Oh, yeah.
So very intelligent, very much emotionally intelligent as well. So much so that he knew how to control and catalyze hers at the same time. Like control his and catalyze hers and then go crazy and watch her take all of that and then be like, oh, but no, I'm good. We all good. Right?
To each other, but they weren't talking about what they really wanted to say. And they were using things like the music to talk to each other. And it's just like, no, him singing about I'm sorry 50 years ago doesn't mean anything to me because you did what you did tonight. You know, and then she's playing, oh, leave him, girl, you know, on the music. And it's just like, that's not phasing him either.
But you know what? In that song though, for me, it wasn't about leave him, girl. It was about her saying no.
I'm staying.
I'm staying.
It's about accepting the toxicity.
And that's what she wanted him to get. Not the I'm leaving. He got pissed because he heard the I'm leaving part. But what she wanted him to hear is all this you doing to me, I am staying.
Yeah.
But all he heard was I'm leaving because of his egotism, because of his egoism.
Yeah.
Because he could not fathom the idea that somebody was leaving him because of something he did.
Yeah.
And it's something that he did wrong.
Right.
What she's been through, she's had a lot of things unresolved, and that comes out later when you don't resolve it, and like an inability to own your own feelings. She was angry with him. He said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Nothing." Own your feelings. Own that you have the human right to feel angry about something that you actually should feel angry about. Even if you don't, if that person feels like you shouldn't be angry about it, who are they to determine what you should be feeling? You're a human being, so accept that humanity within yourself and go, this made me mad.
And that's a work too, though.
Yeah.
Another point I wanted to make is you were saying that like they were telling each other the truth. But what good is the truth if you're not telling the truth to each other? Like a lot of things they said to each other were true. A lot of things they said to each other that they knew how to deal with, it could have been grounding. But what good is that if it's only be to hit below the belt? It's not to make you better.
Right.
I could tell you the truth, but if I'm not trying to tell you the truth to help you grow, because that's not why they were telling the truth.
Yeah.
They were telling the truth to hit below the belt and continue to tear each other down.
Feel empowered.
Right.
Of their own insecurity.
Exactly. To continue to feel the power of their own. Right.
And you can see him like ciphering that energy from her, like, oh my God, that was so good. Like,
want more drama.
Now I loved you. I just called
You
you
need
a
more
crazy,
toxicity.
psychotic.
Right.
You know, you
That's
are
what
never
I'm
gonna
born
be
and
nothing.
raised
You can never be. But I love you because how you just acted out, wanting drugs so bad. Oh my God, I love that. And it was like, wow, brother. I had to act like a crazy person. You know, I had to act like I was gonna kill you and myself for you to muster up that love for me. You know, and it was like you just taking my energy at that point. And that's how I felt her like. But at the same time, she was saying, I can hear her saying, this is love though.
Because that's what
this is what I know. And
They're loving
him
him.
manipulating
For
me
him,
and
that
me
part is
manipulating
addiction.
him. And not only that, it was like she was like, well, his gloves are off. I'm gonna come back and fight. You know,
Every
now I
time.
got some hurtful things to say to you. And then she felt like, yeah, I said that.
I think that part fed his addiction real well because I
It
think,
did.
I think he had an addiction of validation. So I mean, it's to the point where if you feel like this, you finna go to the point of doing this for me. You finna go to the point of want to do drugs or threaten me like this. You gotta love me. It validated him because he really was looking for that validation. That was his addiction when drugs or whatever else might have been her addiction. His validation, he was steady craving that. That's his thing that he always wanted. That's why even when whatever they talked about, do you really feel like I was mediocre? You know what I'm saying? Like so his drug was really like that validation. It spoke to, like you were saying, narcissism so much. You know what I'm saying? When you like get to see the narcissists interact, you see like, man, they really love that validation so much so they'll even tell themselves that just so they can get that validation. They'll like create their own validation for themselves because they don't believe in it sometimes.
And the validation piece is really important because I think that there are people who still want to feel validated when like I don't see there's no substance I can use for the validity. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you want me to validate you, you want me to pat you on the back, you want me to do all these things, but like with what? Like what? You know what I'm saying? You human, you divine, you all of these particular things, but like. You gotta like I read the definition of respect, right? And I think that we misuse respect often because like respect is like a deep admiration based upon who someone is or what someone has done, right? If who you are and what you have done is not anything I respect, then why should I be held accountable to respect that, right? And I think that women are often held accountable to validate men. When whole time we don't get that reciprocity when we what you mean? I gotta validate you when my womb brought you here. Could you validate me for bringing life to the earth? Like, could you validate me for being what is necessary for you to be here? And then I can validate you, yes. And as a result of being what is necessary for you to be here, you are an amazing extension of that. Thank you for shining your light. Thank you for bringing to the light what was so divine and beautiful in me in darkness, right? When will we get there? We get there when men don't feel whole by honoring their woman.